DL Mexican men? I'm not surprised.
We are on the DL Mexico TikTok. Let's talk about it. Hey, beautiful people, how y'all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome back to my channel. Happy you all been. Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video, we want to talk about DL down or low Mexican men. And I know, yeah, we usually come when we talk about DL, the first thing that comes to our mind are black men. But no, the Mexican community on TikTok has opened the can worms of exposing the DL Mexico macho men. And this all started out from a creator that came to talk about how a lot of Mexican men are on the DL and yet they are very homophobic, and also talk about how these men abuse their sons, their nephews, their son's friend, and all that, abuse children in the community, and yet the Latino community, the Mexican community, will not speak on this and rather just keep low. And he talked about why he doesn't hang out, and usually they blame it on the alcohol because they act this way whenever they are drunk and high and all that. And this also just made a lot the Mexican community on TikTok. They are speaking out on the DL men in their community and how they move and some of the trauma they've caused to them and children around them. So anyway, guys, let's go check out this video, and then people's thoughts and stories, and then we'll come back and share my thought. But I want to know what you think down in the comment section.
Old school Mexican dads will cut off their sons for being gay, but they won't cut off their boys that be sucking get drunk. That's a conversation y'all don't want to have, bruh. Because when Mexicans be getting drunk, they be doing some gay ass shit. That's exactly why I don't drink and why I don't hang out with Mexicans like that when they be drinking, bruh. Because they be thinking that everybody's just free game, like everybody's just a free for all. They start touching up on you and shit. That shit ain't never happened to me, but I've seen it happen to people, bruh. I'm gonna just be real with y'all, bruh. One of my boys, his brother's gay, and their dad don't even recognize him. Their dad don't even accept him. But yet the dad was hanging out with my cousin Moro doing gay ass shit. It's crazy, bro. They really be like that. Like, I think it's to them, it's not the point of being gay. I think to them it's a matter of like looks, like the way that people are gonna look at them. That's really what hurts them. You know what I'm saying? They don't really care that you're gay. They care more about the persona, what people look at them as. So you could be gay, but you gotta be like them. You gotta be low key about that shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get some drinks in you and then expose it. Be like, oh yeah, like I think. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise they won't accept you. They'll be like, nah, bro, you can't be doing that, bro. You can't, like, listen to these against the Malagas. The church says not to do that. You know what I'm saying? They really be on some weird shit, bro. Hey, man, y'all don't want to have that conversation, though. It's too hard for Mexicans to accept that. But, hey, shit, you know it. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it, man. Y'all be safe.
DL Mexican dads and uncles who are homophobic but then do that kind of stuff has been flooding my For You page. And the truth is actually a lot darker than what is being shared. So I am going to give you a trigger warning. I'm also going to say that not all Mexican men are like this. I've met amazing Mexican men who are husbands, dads. They're not all like this. And lastly, I'm a proud ally. My concern here is for Mexican women and children who are affected by this type of behavior. So the main point being shared right now is that when DL Mexican uncles or dads drink, they end up hooking up with a coworker, compadre, a friend, whatever that is. But what actually happens, I'm literally so angry, sorry. All of their morals go out the window. It's not just their friends, it's not just their compadres. It could be their cousins, it could be their nephews, their nieces, it could be their siblings' partner. I am literally shaking right now. And there's always a ringleader. I've seen it. The do it or you're a bitch. I have seen relatives, male relatives, make out drunk. I've also seen the impact that this has had on children who are not off limits sometimes for these awful humans. And what do those children go do? They go repeat the same behavior. With who? With kids that are accessible. Friends, cousins, whatever that is. This shit is a lot deeper. This shit is a lot deeper. I could talk about this more, but it's traumatic.
It's nothing new. These men have always been DL, and they're all married with families. Homophobic. God forbid one of their sons turns out gay, because they will vocalize their disagreement with one of their sons to be gay. But they'll leave their phone number to a gay server at the local restaurant. Years ago, I talked about the same subject, how the most macho Latino men are the gayest of all. And there's one thing they're really good at, is staying in the closet. Nobody likes to talk about it, but we all know it's happening. They're afraid how the community is going to view their sexual orientation. Because after all, the Mexican culture is identified by such machismo upbringing. They know that their father would never approve of a gay son. Because as long as they can remember, Dad bought them their little hat, their little belt, a solid pair of jeans, and the straightest pair of boots. But underneath all of that is a very gay man. I feel bad for the women because a lot of these women have no idea why their man mistreats them, puts them down. But the reality is there's a lot of frustration in these men because they can't openly have the lifestyle that they want. And instead, they have to hide their true identity under their wives' skirts and delantales. If you know, you know.
I don't know how I ended up on DL Mexican TikTok, but the tea is fantastic. Additionally, and I'm very sorry to you ladies, but it's not just Mexican men, okay? It's white men, it is black men, it is Middle Eastern men, it is Hispanic men, any flavor of Hispanic men, it is Asian men. Like, I have been on enough sports teams to know what goes on in the locker room. I have been in enough gym, saunas, and steam rooms and locker rooms to know what happens behind closed doors. When I lived in New York City, the amount of times I would walk into a steam room and see two men going to town on each other, only to walk out of the steam room later and leave the gym with their spouses, their female spouses. The limit does not exist, okay? So if your husband spends a lot of time at the gym, and he's just hitting the gym, needs to get a sauna in, needs to get a steam in, he's getting something in. And it's not the sauna or the steam.
DL Mexican men, I'm not surprised. I've seen some things myself. The only thing I'm surprised at is why y'all are attacking that man. It's not like he personally outed y'all. All he said that it's more common than you think. And a lot of us are aware of it, okay? Especially them in the Mexican community. So I'm just trying to figure out, why are y'all mad at him? Why are y'all mad that he's telling the truth? You see how everybody is giving him some type of animosity or harshness towards his page, trying to get it deleted. Like, what? Because he's telling the truth. People don't like the truth. But y'all are mad because your gay son comes out the closet and you want him to go back in. But not even understanding that he got it from you. He got it from you. That's the thing. Like, a lot of things is passed through genetics, and people don't realize that what your child likes, most of the time it got something to do with the parents. I mean, I'm just being honest.
So, did y'all think that being DL was exclusive to just black men? Like, first of all, I don't know where this DL Mexican conversation came from. I'm not sure if it started within that community, but I don't have a personal mule in this fight. I don't have anything to say from experience because, one, I don't DL men. And for two, I'm damn sure a DL Mexican. That just sounds like a shitty uncircumcised set to me. So I don't want no parts, never had no parts. However, I do have a thought about this whole situation and how now everybody's coming out and saying their experience with dealing with a DL Mexican. Most of y'all are starting your videos by saying, oh, I dealt with a DL Mexican, but I never wanted to speak about it. I never thought that I would have to talk about it. I'm glad that somebody else is finally bringing it up so I can say it. My thing with that is that y'all are so quick to let the world know when you're dealing with a DL black man, right? But when it comes to a DL Mexican, you don't want to talk about it? You'll keep his secret, but you expose the black man. It just seems a bit questionable. You know, that's really all I have to say about this topic. I don't really have a mule. However, I do think it's weird. I do think it's weird that we are still making DL men a topic in general.
All the discord about this DL Mexican men shit is just chef's kiss. As a second generation Mexicana raised in a small town with a lot of Mexicanos, yeah, they're onto some shit. I also visit Mexico a lot too, and there's a reason why the machismo is so high. Overcompensation. And it's always those blue-collared construction guys too. What the is that? I've known Mexican men who are very homophobic, by the way, that are very obviously DL. Like, these dudes are for real scared of gay people, or just completely degrade them. But yeah, give them a little bit of substances and there's no more rules. The next time is too homophobic, I'm gonna be like, why do you care so much about gay people? Stare them in the soul. Like, I don't give a straight people. Like, why do you care so much about gay people? Why are you so interested in what they do or don't do, or who they're sleeping with, or like, why do you care so much? I know the DL community in men is really killing all of the women's communities, but especially in the Latino community, like, it's just the amount of like projection and homophobia there is within our Tios and friend groups and these tough guys and puffed out beefy dudes, like only giving what their homeboys have to say, not valuing women at all, calling us females and being hella disrespectful all the time. Their idea of flirting is being rude to women, wanting to spend all their time and intimate hours and laughs and jokes and all these things with their dudes, their homies. Just hate how much the stigma of like gayness is still a thing in the Latino community. Like, it's ridiculous. We are in 2025. All it does is end up hurting all of us. Women deserve to be safe and not have to worry about your DL bullshit. No one cares that you're gay. And unfortunately, it's not just the Theos. Like, it's also our generation and probably the younger ones. All this to say, I can't wait until all this stops being a thing, and I'm so glad that we're talking about this now.
This creator talks about the dark side of DL Mexican Theos and how it's impacting innocent children, and how we should talk about that topic. I wrote a book. It's a memoir. It's my second book. And in this book, I talk about it. But let me tell you something. There's a big price you pay for speaking up. And I think a lot of people are afraid of doing so because first thing that's going to happen is that they're going to outcast you. They're going to call you a liar. You're going to be responsible for splitting up the family. And so everything except taking accountability, right? Everybody in the family unit has a part in it, especially if there's misogynistic women that uphold the patriarchy and they're like, try to make every single excuse under the sun for why it's okay to still be in touch with that person. I got comments from aunts that were like, well, you knew what you were doing. Weren't you like 14? I was 7. And the fact that I was told to not talk about it as a kid, you need to understand that you think that adults know what they're doing. So you're like, okay, well, maybe they know something I don't. But as I grew up, I was like, no, this is wrong. This person lives behind a school. This person has access to a lot of little girls. And it's all rooted in this, homophobic rage that they have, because it's also a very common thing to witness around these men. And so I grew up to become the person that I needed when I was a kid. I exposed a person. I was blackmailed for it by my own family. And I decided to write. Books about it. And I wrote this book. And now I'm writing music. And in my last song, I haven't even posted this, like the whole song. But in the song I say, como hija te perdono, como madre no sé cómo pudiera vivir yo así. Like, as a daughter, I forgive you for what's happened because you also had trauma in your life. You also, you know what I mean? Like, having that compassion. But as a mother, like the amount of times that I was told, oh, when you're a mom, you'll understand. Thank God I never understood, because someone touches my child, that's the end for me. And I don't understand. We're talking about children here. When it comes to pop culture and like opinions on like Cristiano Ronaldo, like that's different. You can have an opinion about that. But when it comes to protecting the children, and there is no debate. Yeah. It's wrong. So people want to say here that, especially my family, like, how dare I, make this public and talk about it and blah, blah, blah. You guys don't get to dictate how I heal. And if I decided to build community as a result of what happened to me and write books
in hopes of helping people, and now make music in hopes of helping other people feel seen and understand that there is a possibility of having a great life even after something like that. It is possible to heal, and it's possible to do it with other people. But when these things come to light, you don't get to be mad about the truth. You had your chance to be a good person. You can still do it now. You're still alive. You can change the narrative, but you don't get to complain about the person that did everything to survive that.
Wow. Wow. Please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you guys think about these DL Mexican men that has gone viral and everybody's talking about it. Go down in the comment section, and if you're a Mexican, what are your take on this conversation? So go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation. But as always, keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thoughts. Okay. For me, it is really interesting. Like, for me, I feel like this old DL men, and I do understand, yes, putting the focus on Mexican men, because most times when we talk about DL, we're talking about black men. We don't look at DL white men and other race. But this entire conversation of men, especially the macho type of men, that some of them are most likely to be gay, and yet they still have strong homophobic. I feel like it's a thing, and we've had the conversation multiple times here when we talk about how a lot of men don't like us women. They like the idea of the service we provide, but not us as women. They rather be with the men. I feel like that is also like some gay things going on there, because if you, in my own head, this is my opinion, because if you really like somebody, spending time with the person shouldn't be like a thing of work. But you see a lot of these men, they rather be out there with their boys rather than be home with the person they claim they love and want to spend the rest of their life with. At the end of the day, you don't want to spend the rest of your life with them. You just want the service that comes with them. But the bottom line is that this old DL thing, and I've seen situations of things being done. I don't know if you guys, there's this guy on YouTube, Maraj, does this news and Love Island content, reporting on it. There was a time a clip came. I did a video about it when that video went, but you could clearly see when he came to share his story, it was something that was done to him as a child, and I feel like it cuts across race at this point, because a lot of these men, some of them are in power, some of them are in control, and they have access to children, including boys, little boys, and they force themselves on these little boys and do whatever they do, or even command them, use their authority, their power to intimidate these young children to do things to them, and also threaten them not to tell anybody. It has happened repeatedly over and over again, and I do believe that most men are on the DL. I believe the only reason why they are not coming out is because of how society is going to perceive them and how society is going to talk about them. And also, they know men will not give them the service that we women bring to their life, that stability, that being organized, that nurturing. They know men will not give them. So they rather go with women but still be on the DL. So I feel like this DL thing, most men are. That's my own personal opinion. Worldwide, most men are, and women, and this is why as women, I encourage you to center yourself. I encourage you to prioritize yourself. I encourage you, because when you do all that and you are in a relationship with a man that does not prioritize you, that does not give you what you feel you need from a relationship, because I feel like whatever we need in a relationship is different based on our trauma and who we are and all that. So if you're not getting it from that relationship, it's safe for you to walk away, because a lot of these men, they're rather going to pour it into something because they are not living their authentic self. And a lot of children, a lot of boys, let's even talk about the boys, a lot of boys are hurt out there. And this is why, like, it's a trickle down trauma that goes down, because some of these boys, they were touched by their uncle, their dad, their mom's boyfriend and all that, their stepfather, and now they grow up with a lot of dysfunction because they cannot even process that emotion because they don't want the world to know. They can't even go to therapy to process it. So they're just going to internalize it, and then you wonder why relationship is not healthy, why we have a lot of more toxic people out there that wants to partner and be in a relationship. And I feel like it all trickles down to it. But yeah, you guys let me know what you guys think about this entire conversation because I love it. So let me know your own take about this down in the comment section. But as always, keep it respectful. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.